Welcome along to Zandvoort in Holland for the third event in the Toyo Tires Porsche Championship for 2013. And a strong contingent of cars has made it across the water. The sun is shining. We're near the sea, so it's a perfect venue. The former Grand Prix track here at Zandvoort sees Richard Styron on pole with Cliff Graham alongside, J.M. Littman third and Will Sharp fourth. Then it's Arjo Josh and Jonathan Greensmith, followed by Mark McKenzie and Steve Boyles. Adam Croft and Steve Potts on row 5, followed by Nick Hull, and then Julian Brown on production pole. Alistair Kirkham's next with Simon Hawksley, then Rebecca Jackson and Philip Waters, followed by Clive Morrison and David Jones. Hugh Peart and Anthony Mekvinsky completing the 20-car grid. Bernie Princey will be in the mix as well. We're looking from the pole position car now to Mark McKenzie. Several onboards, as you can see, including Philip Waters. Good to see Philip in the championship. Ex-driving instructor, Potts, the ex-Steve Potts 924. But the view from J.M. Littman there of the race leader, Adam Croft, gets away well, as does the red car of Cliff Graham. We're on board momentarily with Cliff as they come down into Tarzan for the first time, this 180-degree bend. But J.M. Littman starting well, a little bit of contact there as they go into the... Always a little bit worrying when you go off the straight down into a hairpin for the first time. Now the squabbling pack need to avoid the situation that's happening at the moment. Well, we'll go back to that in a minute, because David Jones looking up the inside of Clive Morrison. Cars through Hugenholtz and then up towards turn 7. Mark McKenzie involved in a squabble there. On board with Adam Croft, that's what happened. McKenzie had a little bit of a clout with the yellow car of Jonathan Greensmith. I think might have picked up some damage, but at the moment it's Richard Styron who leads them away. Look at the undulations and curves on this circuit. It's absolutely wonderful. And Richard Styron, who takes his third event pole position of the year. Cliff Graham's making a move into second place past J.M. Littman. Cracking move from the 59-year-old from Southport up into second place. A massive squabble going on behind him. And this is great news for Rick Styron, because he's going to start to get away. On board with Mark McKenzie. And the lead Boxsters all squabbling over positions. The all-white car of Arjo Josh involved in the mix as well. 77, Steve Boyles chasing Arjo at the moment. Will Sharp's made the trip over as well. Steve Boyles, of course, the only driver to have won a race other than Richard Styron so far this year in the 5 races we've had. Back on board with J.M. Littman. Very close look at the battle for second position. There's the second position car. Cliff Graham in red. Oh, and a spinner in the 924. Philip Waters manages to negotiate that. So good healthy representation in all the classes here. Down the main straight to complete the first of what we think will be a 10-lap race, 20-minute time race. The BRSCC running this meeting with under the banner of the Caterham Eurofest. We've got some ex-Caterham drivers, of course, racing in Porsches now. Have made the switch over and enjoying it. One of them is J.M. Littman, who is running at the moment in that 4th position, the 3rd of these cars coming through shot. So through Hugenholtz, which is at the back of the pit complex here, and then the climb up to Hunsrug, and then the Rob Slodemacher curve before they start to double back and come back towards the home part of the circuit here at Zandvoort, the former Grand Prix venue. If you think you recognise it, of course, the halcyon days of the 70s when a slightly longer circuit was run for the Dutch Grand Prix, and slightly shorter version these days. The lap record held by Earl Goddard in a single-seater, if you remember Boss Formula going back in the day. That's the outright lap record, and of course the Porsche's here to set their own targets today. J.M. Littman's target at the moment is Will Sharp. There is Littman, the 3rd of the cars, chasing Will Sharp ahead of him. Will's had a very good induction into the championship, joined us late last year. That's a great thing to do, just dip your toe in the water towards the end of one season and then come in and have a go. J.M. Littman with just 1 race to his credit so far in the opening round at Rockingham, where he took 4th place, so good result for J.M. and he's equaling that position at the moment. Richard Styron flashes through shot, still in the lead. Richard having had 4 wins on the bounce so far, and starting to pedal away from the rest of them. Qualifying time for Richard 2 minutes 00.7, and second on the grid Cliff Graham 2 minutes 1.273, so a little bit of a gap. At the moment the car's settling in. Will Sharp qualified 4th, so he's made up for pace on his grid position as they come down the straight, and you can see Richard Styron starting to get away. So back down the order, Julian Brown there leading the 72 car of Alistair Kirkham. Julian leading the production Boxsters and still in the early stages of his racing career. Man from Reigate in Surrey, company director, so works hard as all of these drivers do to pay for their racing. So Cliff Graham running well. James Littman having a good go there for second position. He was looking at the inside line, switches to the outside. I think that's a problem for Clive Morrison, one of the 924s, who looks like he's going to go out of the race. So 3 races at this event at Zandvoort. So the top 4 running well. Steve Boyle's at the moment in 5th position, then Arjo Josh. David Jones goes out. We saw the onboard flash of David Jones on lap 1, and he's out of the race as Adam Croft effects a pass here. Oh, contact! Adam Croft involved in contact with Mark McKenzie. Crofty goes round. Now, is he going to be out of the race? Mark McKenzie's certainly been in the wars in this one, the X924 driver. Yeah, Mark's definitely got a problem. Going past him is Steve Potts, and then the Union flag livery car of Nick Hull. But we're going back to the battle for second position at the moment. Cliff Graham's still there. Will Sharp. Hensharp's not here this weekend. Will Sharp in second place, and then J.M. Littman in third. Still plenty of time for this to sort itself out. And then just behind them we've got Steve Boyles, Arjo Josh, and then Nick Hull and Steve Potts running in fairly close proximity as well down the order. Simon Hawksley is racing in the 924s this weekend. Alistair Kirkham back out as well. And here they come down the main straight once again with Richard Styron setting the fastest lap of the race again. Now Richard it looks like he's going to continue his run of fastest laps as well. He's had four wins on the bounce and 3 fastest laps. Mark McKenzie pulls the car over to safety and into pit road to join the other retirees and out of the race. So the car's coming out of Airy Lyndike corner and down the main straight. So this is good racing going on once again in the Toyo Tires Porsche Championship. I know the drivers wanted me to pass on a big thanks to Stena Ferries for giving some very good rates to get the cars over here. Car number 3, Simon Hawksley, top of the 924 stack at the moment. And there's the man leading the Boxsters, the 3 retirees. Mark McKenzie, David Jones and Clive Morrison out of it. Will Sharp still in third position. He's pulled a little bit of a gap at the moment on J.M. Littman, so J.M. perhaps having a bit of a breather. Adam Croft into the pit lane as well. Crofty with a non-finish in race 1 at Silverstone, you might remember, so not having the happiest of rounds 2 and 3, but hopefully he'll get 2 decent finishes in the remaining races. Racing journalist Rebecca Jackson took a win, of course, in the production class in race 1 at Silverstone. Very, very keenly fought, the productions. You've got Julian Brown in the mix as well. And we look down the order. This is Philip Waters in the patterned car ahead of Anthony Mekvinsky. So those 2 involved in the scrap for, let me see, 3rd position in the 924s. Steve Potts leading Nick Hull at the moment. Let's go on board with Nick and see what it's like in the office here at Zandvoort. Nick Hull qualified in 11th position, so he's actually made up a bit of ground. He's up into 8th place at the moment, chasing Steve Potts, who is ahead of him.
Nick Hull, Julian Brown and Simon
Steve Potts down over the line into Tarzan Corner, the man from West Malling in Kent, which is actually pretty near the BRSCC headquarters, works in banking and finance, was the Boxster production champion last year, and he's got the edge over his 47-year-old compatriot from Harrogate. Car prepared by Newbridge Racing. Nick, an ex-short circuit kart racing. The great thing about the Boxsters is that, and the Porsche Championship as a whole, is that it attracts drivers from all different walks of motorsport. So it seems to have a universal appeal for karters, saloon car racers, drivers who raced a few years ago who are looking to coming back, aspirant sports car drivers as well. And I think that's a testament to the strength of the championship. We've got the 3 classes that you can take part in as well. We've got the full race Boxsters, the production Boxsters, and of course the older championship 924s, which are still running very healthily at the moment, as we continue to watch Steve Potts leading Nick Hull. Nick getting closer by turn. This is a very long lap to learn and navigate, and now we can see that Nick Hull is closing up, and I think he's going to have a go. Looks to the right side of Steve Potts' car, and I think he's got the move done. The question is, what's the next corner going to present? And it presents an inside line for him, so he thought that one out. Cracking move then by Nick Hull to move up a position, but Potts isn't finished yet. This is reminiscent of Rockingham in many ways because of the amount of twists and turns on the circuit. If you get an advantage on if you get an outside on a one corner, that convert to the inside to the next. As we go back to this very good battle for second place, Will Sharp in white, busy chasing the red Cliff Graham car. Cliff's first meeting of the season. So around the back of the pit complex here, heading up towards turn 7. Richard Styron still posting fastest laps ahead of these and starting to move clear of the field. So Richard Styron leading, Cliff Graham in second position, followed by Will Sharp. Then it's J.M. Littman.